Why don't you?
It's November 11, 2025, and President Yoweri Museveni has decided to hold a national talk show concerning Ugandan issues. He is expressing his concerns over Uganda's capacity to defend itself.
I say, you people, why don't you see how to unite? Because Uganda, even if you wanted to build a navy, how can you build it? We don't have access to the sea.
Up to that point, the conversation seems normal, because this is a president who wants to ensure the survival and prosperity of his nation. However, his comments take an unintentional turn when he keeps mentioning Kenya's access to the Indian Ocean, as if we are the only country in East Africa to have one.
Some of the countries have no access to the sea. For economic purposes, but also for defense purposes, you are stuck. How do I export my products? That's why we have got endless discussion with Kenya, then this one stopped, then another one comes, then the railway, the pipeline, the what, we discuss. But that ocean belongs to me. Because where is my ocean? I'm entitled to that ocean. In future, we are going to have wars.
That's where the conversation takes an unintentional turn. And just when you think that he might have realized that he made a mistake and maybe change his vocabulary, he decides to double down on it and even contextualizes the matter.
In the future, we're going to have wars. How can you say that you are in a block of flats, that the compound belongs to only the flats on the ground floor, that the compound belongs to the whole block. All the flats are entitled to the compound.
Yeah.
There's no way you can say. So may I just go, these people, you are really endangering yourself. How can you have a situation like this?
The conversation goes on like this, and he keeps repeating the same things he's already said.
But where is my ocean? My ocean is the Indian Ocean. No, it belongs, really, me. I'm on the top floor of the block. And then you say the compound belongs only the ones on the ground floor. This is madness.
Considering he is currently 81 years old, those comments by the Ugandan president could easily be brushed off as something that comes as a result of old age. And we still need to give him some benefit of doubt that he didn't actually mean it. However, there's some form of pattern that these Ugandans are creating when it comes to Kenya and its sovereignty as a country. Like, for example, the Ugandan Army General too has made similar utterances as his father when it comes to Kenya. Back in October 2022, he put out a tweet saying how he loved us as relatives, but views our constitution and rule of law as a form of joke, and how in Uganda they only exercise revolution, and how we will soon learn about it. Given that the comments came from an army general, most Kenyans viewed them as a form of threat. And similar to his dad this month, he too decided to double down and gave us some projections on the fact that it wouldn't take Uganda more than 2 weeks to capture Nairobi.
What are you saying? What are you saying? What is he saying?
Kenyans on Twitter took this as nothing more but just simple online banter and decided to engage General Muhoozi. Every Kenyan online came together armed with nothing more but just their internet bundles to defend the great city of Nairobi. And we had one mantra when it came to Kainerugaba's claims.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
Some even decided to take this war off of Twitter and migrated it to other online platforms.
Number one, we are on our way to capture Kenya. I think we have landed in Dubai. We are in Dubai. This is not Kenya. What is that, an expressway? Can you put Daddy on the phone?
All this was to show that as Kenyans, we didn't take Uganda seriously, and that even if they were to live up to their threat, there was not much they could do, especially against the Kenyan youth. Let alone the Kenyan army. And to show that it was all love in the end between the two countries, since we share a lot amongst ourselves, we even decided to pay homage to some of their culture and identity.
This is General Muhoozi. We are in the yeah. Go down low. Papa, go down low.
Now, in isolation, the two comments will be harmless. As Kenyans, We could make the claim that back in October 2022, General Muhoozi's comments were just harmless banters meant to provoke a group of Kenyans online. That doesn't mean that it wasn't made in poor taste, considering that he is the head of the Ugandan military. If the tweets were made by any ordinary Ugandan, they could have still led to some level of provocation, but no one will have taken them as serious to the point that it triggered some of our parliamentarians to respond.
I think General Muhoozi is wet dreaming because he's saying that he can capture Nairobi within a period of 2 weeks. So that is uncalled for. Kenya is a sovereign state with its sovereignty, managing itself and the self-independence. So I don't think the intimidations that he's giving us is called for. They are totally uncalled for. And I think that is an overambitious person, the overambition of an ant climbing the legs of an elephant with the aim of raping it. And that's next to impossible. We cannot and shall not and must not dare Kenyans.
So, as a sane person who knows the military and defensive capability of his country, Babu goes on to disregard Muhoozi's comments, as was the case with every other Kenyan citizen online who was engaging the Ugandan general. And if you are wondering, Uganda is the ant in this conversation trying to climb the legs of an elephant. Regardless of whether such utterances to conquer Kenya are from the father or the son, as Kenyans, it is our desire to have them follow them up with actual actions. That's when they'll know the might of our army and influence within the East African region.
Mimi nataka niwaambie, mimi ndio commander in chief. Nyinyi mtajua hamujui. Wawache hiyo mchuzi. Wawache hiyo ukuzi. Sijui kama tunaelewana bwana.
We've seen such games before, in the form of Migingo Island, where Museveni claimed Uganda to own it, but eventually came to his senses and conceded its control to then President Kibaki.
The island of Migingo and Ugingo lies squarely on Kenyan territory.
We can even take it back to the time when Idi Amin wanted to redefine the boundaries between Kenya and Uganda and claim the entire western half of Kenya. It is easy for Uganda leaders to make clear their plans to attack other nations because unlike us, they are a dictatorship. They're lucky that we are not. None of our leaders have the capacity to unilaterally make decisions on their own, unless of course the Ugandans decide to attack first, a move most Kenyans would gladly welcome. I mean, if they have the balls, why don't they try and attack us? Let them try.
And I'm saying, come baby, come.
Because that is the only way they'll get to meet the full force of our military. They will wish to never eye anything from the Kenyan soil. And as for Museveni's comments on Uganda having desire to access Kenya's Indian Ocean, this Babu's 2022 response to Muhoozi still suffices as a relevant reply to him and his people.
As a parliamentarian, do you think this is provoking Kenyans and to see and what we can do?
I think that is foolishness. That is gibberish, foolishness, and absurdity, and balderdash. Yes.
And we've seen the CS nominee Mutua has made a comment and said that the Ugandan foreign ministry released a statement, but they are not clear on it. Do you think they should stand firm? The government should stand firm and maybe summon the ambassador?
It's not even about summoning the ambassador. It's about standing firm and protecting the sovereignty of Kenya and Kenyans. Yes.
Okay, and probably as members of parliament, do you think maybe you're going to petition the government maybe to do something about it, or you?
That's what he said. I think that is now hot air. What he said is hot air. So I don't need to give time where it's not needed. That is a waste of my precious time, and I think ignoring is better than concentrating on it.
Lazima pia ni kutake back na kutake back to how I reacted the first time vile nilisikia Ubuda amesema that he needs a part of the Indian Ocean and that they as what is it called, as Uganda deserve a part of the Indian Ocean. So mimi nilibaki nime advice. So this was my advice. Nilibaki nime retweet ama nilibaki nime reply nikasema start the war Kaguta Museveni so that we can liberate Uganda and make you and your whatever son Kanairugaba fuck off. Unacheki. Alafu iko kwani Museveni wants of future wars over access to sea. So hii fala inataka kuchange all the rules of how the world works, where countries have borders and those borders come with rules. If you're next to the ocean is where ndio na claim and you use it as your port. So this fool somehow thinks that now Uganda can just own a piece of Kenya and we are going to be okay with that. So to threaten a war.